Hello, this is George Gelden of Gelden Insurance Services with a message regarding the 2020 Individual Health Insurance Open Enrollment. This has nothing to do with Medicare or Medicare eligible enrollees. As I give this message, you might see my eyes wander around the camera outside, and it's because I'm looking at my sea of notes that I have pasted up so I don't forget to say what I want to say. And I know a lot of you are in entertainment production, so if you stay till the end, I'll show you what it looks like. So that way I'll keep you to the very end, I'm sure. Anyway, this is our 7th open enrollment. It's going to run from October 15th 2019 to January 15th, 2020. It may be extended to January 31st, 2020, but we don't have that officially yet. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Go with January 15th as the end of open enrollment. This is the time to make changes to a current plan for 2020 or to enroll anew on a plan for next year. What's new? What's new for 2020? Well, the state of California is bringing back the individual mandate. The individual mandate is basically requiring people to have health insurance, California residents to have health insurance for 2020. If you don't have health insurance, credible health insurance for 2020, the state of California will assess a penalty on your state taxes for 2020. So be aware of it. It's another reason to have health insurance for the coming year. But with that, the state of California is expanding the subsidies on Covered California. As you know, Covered California is where you would go to pursue getting financial assistance to help pay for your health insurance. And currently, if an applicant or an applicant's household is up to 400% of the federal poverty level, they could be eligible for financial assistance from the government. Well, for 2020, they're expanding that to 600% of the federal poverty level. What does that mean? That means that for a single tax filer, and I have to look, for 2020, 400% of the federal poverty level is $49,960 of projected income. For that same single tax filer, 600% of the federal poverty level is $74,940. So you can see that a lot of people who may not have been eligible for a subsidy before might very well be eligible for a subsidy in the coming year. So it's something you may want to consider for yourself if you find yourself near that or already on Covered California. Now, Covered California calculates these subsidy eligibility and how much somebody would get as a subsidy. It's based on 4 things. The first is your household size for tax reporting services, your household size for tax reporting purposes, the ages of your household members, and your home zip code, and of course your income, your projected household income for 2020. So they put all 4 of those things together, and then they come up with what they may or may not be able to offer you as a subsidy for 2020. Now, these subsidies vary from region to region. So somebody who lives in the Bay Area, for example, may get a larger subsidy than somebody the same age with the same income in Southern California. And that's mainly due to the cost of insurance and the cost of living in different places. But there's a spread. So some people talk to their friends in different parts of the state and they don't understand why subsidies vary so much, but they do. So everybody's situation is unique, and that's why you have to look at it very carefully for yourself to be an informed consumer. Going along with that, if you may be one of those people who might be eligible for a subsidy, but a small subsidy, it may not be worth going into Covered California. And the reason why is because some of the plans in Covered California, the silver plans, are actually more expensive on Covered California than their identical mirrored plans that are outside of Covered California. So, for example, if you're getting a small subsidy and you go on a silver plan in Covered California, you still may end up spending more than if you had no subsidy going outside directly to the insurance carrier without any subsidy at all. So again, it's very important to look very carefully at your situation and weigh your options. What's new in carrier news for this coming year is that Anthem Blue Cross is re-entering the market in certain select counties. So they may be an option depending on where you live. That may be an option that wasn't there for you in the last couple of years. They may be something you may want to look at. They're offering EPOs and HMO plans depending on where you live. So you can take a look at that. Another carrier, Oscar, is expanding into many states this year. And in California, they're offering 2 sets of provider networks. They're offering their current provider network, which is called the Circle Network, and that includes UCLA and Hoag Hospital as participating providers and their doctors there. And they're offering a less expensive set of plans using a different network, which is called the Select Network, which doesn't include the UCLA and Hoag Hospital providers as participating providers. The important thing, very important thing to know for people who are on Oscar is that on Covered California, Oscar's only offering their Select Network for their plans. So that's the plans, they're going to be less expensive because it doesn't have those providers. And if you want their larger network, you will have to go outside of Covered California, off exchange, and elect their Circle Network. Also, the people who are on Oscar who have their plans currently outside of Covered California will automatically be migrated to this Select, less expensive network. And you will have to elect, if you want to stay with Oscar and you would like to have their better network, their Circle Network, you will physically have to elect that before the end of the open enrollment to make sure that you continue getting the providers that are important to you, if those providers are important to you. But the reason why they have that second network is because, of course, it's less expensive. So there'll be a lot of people who might be very happy with that because now their health insurance will be less expensive. Other people, it'll be very important to stay with that Circle Network to keep those providers. Again, the open enrollment, my annual prop, there's your open enrollment, October 15th to January 15th, maybe to January 31st. And as promised, this is what this looks like here. That is what that screen looks like. That's why it's so hard to do these. Anyway, thank you for listening and have a wonderful, wonderful season ahead. Be well.